Hello, this is Catherine from TrackGene, and this is a brief screencast to describe doing and/or searches in Find Events. From my home screen, I'm going to go into Find Events, and I'll quickly set up a basic search that has been demonstrated in a different video. So I'm going to click my default display columns and then select particular diagnosis fields that I'm interested in. And coming over to the right hand side, and so I'm interested in a particular diagnosis index. So in our basic search, we saw doing a breast cancer search is just a matter of clicking search here now. If I want to incorporate further criteria into this particular search, so for instance, if I'm interested in searching for patients who have breast cancer or ovarian cancer, so I can double click my diagnosis index again and get a second criteria here. And so now I'm interested in searching for people who have ovarian cancer as well. So at the moment we can see here that my operator is saying that that's an AND search. I want to change that to an OR so that I'm looking for people who have breast or ovarian cancer, and I get those search results there. If I did want to search for people who have both breast and ovarian cancer, so if I just demonstrate this, if we try to put an AND there, we actually get no results. And so that's not reflecting that we haven't got people who fit that criteria in the database. What that means is that when we have values in the same field, that we can't actually search for them in the same way here. So if I do want to search for people with breast and ovarian cancer, I'm just going to remove this criteria. So I'm going to leave my criteria to search for breast cancer, but now I'm going to filter records, and so filter records from above search with the following criteria. So now I can come in and I'm going to search for my diagnosis index again, and so now I'm going to search for my people with ovarian cancer. So what this search does with the filter results is saying, of the people with breast cancer, I'm going to search that group of people with this criteria. So this is searching for the people with breast cancer who also have ovarian cancer, and then I can perform that search and I've got 129 rows or 121 people who fit that particular criteria. So we just have to be aware of the particular criteria and where we use those. I'm just going to remove the filter record search there. If I'm searching for extra criteria in different fields, so for instance, if I want to search for people who have breast cancer and have had, for instance, BRCA testing, so under investigation, I'm going to search for test name, and so I'm going to select the BRCA1 gene. And I also want to search for people who've had BRCA1 or BRCA2 testing. So again, my test name, and I'm going to select the BRCA2 gene there. But what we can see here is I'm going to end up in the same situation where I'm searching on the same field with different values, which isn't going to return results for us. So what I want to do in this situation is change this to an OR search. But what we'll see is if I change that to OR, it changes everything on that level. So I'm just going to change it back to AND. What I can do is use my arrow fields to indent this particular search. And so now I can change this one to OR. So what this is now saying is I want to look for people with breast cancer who have had BRCA1 or BRCA2 testing. So now I can perform that search. And I get my display of the number of rows there. So I've got 968 people who fit that criteria. And of course what I could do again is, these are just people who have had testing. If I'm wanting to search specifically for mutations, so people who have had an abnormal test result, again I can add extra criteria in by coming up and looking at the primary result. And so now, looking for people with breast cancer, one of those tests, and they've got an abnormal result. So remembering that your local drop-down lists will be different, so you might have different terminology in here, but this particular database uses abnormal. And so now if I'm wanting to search for just the people with breast cancer who have had an abnormal test result, I'm now down to 178 people who fit those criteria. So we can build different searches using our arrows and indentations, and then changing the different operators and searches within those as well to get our results.